Hey guys, this is Captain Sweatertail. Today, I will be covering the Garfielf Iceberg. Not just any Garfielf Iceberg, but the one focusing on the Garfield series / Garfielf and Friends. Now, this was created by me and said creator of Garfielf / Garfielf and Friends. Quick shoutouts to Blame It On Jorge, Toasty, and Zeltra Productions. Oh, and by the way, shoutouts to Mish Cause for starting this whole entire iceberg trend. Without any inconvenience in the way, let's begin. John is the bad guy. Now, I'm pretty sure this might be obvious to some of you guys, but in most of the Garfielf episodes, especially Garfielf and Friends, John is seen as the main antagonist because, well, everyone despises him. Garfielf is intelligent. Now, Garfielf might be a smarty, but he's also sometimes shown to be lazy, which explains why he needs help from the super military Animal Squad, formerly known as the Military Fox Pack, and Blobfield. Although at times he is shown to be hyper-intelligent, like when he built the Flying Lysaga truck, which is used from the remains of the Lysaga-powered rocket. MIDI metal music and videos. Now, I know the image that I'm showing for this entry is pretty confusing, but just try to listen closely. From the story of the super military Animal Squad all the way up to the perfect angry John of Garfielf and Friends, most of, if not all, of the soundtracks that were on those videos were done by a user named Metallica Music Video, which are comprised of Doom-style MIDI metal music, and also sometimes some 8-bit metal covers. The earliest known usage of said covers are in Garfield Ruins Christmas 2020, where it uses the Doom-style MIDI version of The Trooper and Angel of Death by Iron Maiden and Slayer respectively. Captain Sweatertail influenced the revolution of Garfielf. Now, this statement is actually true, given the circumstances that I collaborated with Don Glitchy, which turned into trying to spin off the series, which kind of failed successfully, or successfully failed. Either way, I did contribute to the Garfield series. Uncensored. This actually refers to the uncensored audio. Is it necessarily uncensored in the dialogues? No, not really. But the cool thing is you can actually listen to the original soundtrack that I was going for, with the Doom-style MIDIs and 8-bit covers and such. Liz hates John. Now, ask yourself this. Why can't John get any ladies? Why doesn't John get engaged with, I don't know, Liz? Well, truth is, Liz hated John. In the constipation episode, Garfielf was force-fed Zero Lives cat food by John. And John just literally yelled at Garfielf, all because he got a constipation because, well, John fed Garfielf the Zero Lives cat food, which made Liz very upset and, well, told him that he was going to jail for attempted murder. Ever since then, she probably didn't forgive him up until the Valentine's Day episode, where John then asked Liz if she would marry him, up until Mike turned her into a sheep. So, in conclusion, I guess Liz hates John for live streams. Yeah, Don Glitchy does have some live streams, but he mainly live streams Piggy nowadays. Other than that, there's nothing else. Theodore and Hank Tugboat are two tugboats that appeared in a children's show called Theodore Tugboat. The reason why Theodore and Hank Tugboat are on this iceberg is because they made a cameo appearance in not one, but two different Garfield and Friends episodes, Pirate Attack and The Perfect Angry John. In the Pirate Attack episode, they only made a brief cameo appearance at the opening. However, in the Perfect Angry John episode, they made an appearance in the middle of the episode, all the way up to the end. In fact, the screenshot that I'm using for this entry is actually from the end of the Perfect Angry John. All-nighters, in the case of Garfield, are basically episodes that kind of fell victim to all-nighters. These episodes include Grand Theft Auto Saga, Garfield from the Hotel Crisis, Garfield trashes John's house, Garfield ruins the first day of summer, Garfield's visit to Bikini Bottom Part 1, 2, and 3, Garfield and John in Among Us, and more specifically, Garfield and Friends, the story of the Super Military Animal Squad, which is pretty much my end and not Don's end. The Pico Day episode, John Ruins Pico Day, is, well, a continuation of John Gets Cancelled. I think it's the 6th episode of Garfield and Friends overall, but it's probably my favorite for 2 reasons. Not only is it that John is finally the villain, but it's also celebrating a Newgrounds holiday called Pico Day, which surprisingly was released on the same day that Pico Day was, May 1st. And I also slipped in a little message at the end to Tom Fold, since it was finished up by April 30th. 420. Now, 420 is a slang to weed, and sometimes 420 is often referenced in Garfield, like the oven, and an episode based on entirely around 420, and Garfield making special 420 La Saga. But that episode has since been deleted, and it's confirmed to be non-canonical. Superdog Tyler and Burro Pinata are both Roblox YouTubers, but in the context of Garfield, they are both characters that made the first and only cameo appearance in Garfield and Friends in the episode John Ruins Pico Day. Pico and Cassandra are both characters created by Tom Thorpe that appeared in Garfield and Friends, albeit in various different ways. While Cassandra remains in her normal form up until they fuse into a monster, Pico has revamped and changed himself into a super hedgehog. Cassandra is voiced by Shy Girl, but Pico never had a voice because in his super hedgehog form, he was mute. Pico and Cassandra's appearance was in John Ruins Pico Day. Pico as the side protagonist and Cassandra as the side antagonist. Mike was inspired by Dimebag Darrell. Now this is actually true. Mike is a heavy metal loving wolf. His first appearance was in the Memorial Day, and his last appearance was in John Gets Cancelled. Yes, it's true, Mike was inspired by Dimebag Darrell. In fact, his guitar is actually basically Dimebag Darrell's, but more of a red variant instead of a black and blue variant. Not to mention, Dingo's Guitars is actually a Garfield parody to Dean's Guitars. Also, here's what Mike's new design would have looked like had the Garfield series continued. Superdog Tyler X Burro Pinata was supposed to be some kind of inside joke in the Garfield series. To explain it here, Superdog Tyler and Burro Pinata was supposed to be in a relationship in the Garfield series, but due to the unforeseen circumstances that were probably mentioned a few times in this video, it was quickly abandoned and, well, it was probably never used. Sorry about it. Garfield's Lost Season 1 and 2 episodes were episodes that were actually previously lost for unknown reasons, but they were thankfully re-uploaded by Don Glitchy himself, which is the original creator. Although he did re-upload the 420 episode, he did take it down and issued a statement saying that it was non-canonical and is now deleted Discord. Most of the offensive material were scrapped. However, I cannot share any of them due to the fact that it might push some of the limits. All I can tell you is that it kinda covered some sensitive subjects that I won't be describing in this iceberg. LGBTQ references and representations. In Garfield and Friends, there are two canonical ships that are LGBT related. Superdog Tyler ex-girl Pinata, and Pico ex-boyfriend. We decided to place this in as an inside joke. However, it still exists, but due to a lot of heavy backlash, we sort of canceled Garfielf and Friends right after The Perfect Angry John. The original finale was gonna be the 4-minute Garfielf movie. However, it unexpectedly came back with the 3rd season, a god-awful 4th season, and the decently well-made 5th season. However, there was also a bit of a spin-off reboot called Garfielf and Friends, which kind of failed. We only managed to make at least 8 episodes before it was cancelled due to low ratings and a bunch of backlash, mainly targeting towards me. I don't usually talk over during sections, but this one is going to probably be a little bit of a complicated mess, so I'll be needing some help here. And I'm bringing in a special guest.
Spaghetti Pong Game Code. You see, my original vision for the Garfield Pong game was for it to never have more than one game mode. However, someone named Midnight Owl 08, also known as Garfield 7364 or Awesome Autism, came along and requested me to add more modes and some menus to the game, and I complied. However, to reach the deadline I set for myself, I coded the new features in as sloppily as possible. I literally made it so that the main mode and the practice mode are literally their own entirely separate games, the only thing linking them together being the menus and the title screen. This sloppy approach quadrupled the amount of code in the game and made it very messy and all over the place, as well as making it impossible to easily add new content to the game in the future. Midnight Owl 08 still wanted me to add more stuff to the game, so I started working on a sequel, but it ultimately got cancelled, and that's the story for another time.
KM. I have yet to make a video covering KM and her history, but to sum it up here, KM is probably the most obnoxious, because she had a long history of annoying Dawn in the blogs, she had a long history of forcing the requests, but one time she also made a fan-made sequel that was luckily rejected. The Super Military Animal Squad is based off of Super Animal Royale. Now, some of you might be thinking that the Super Military Animal Squad was based off of the furry community, but that could be further from the truth. You see, the actual inspiration for the Super Military Animal Squad actually came from Super Animal Royale. Funny enough, Brooks the Badger was made prior to Super Animal Royale releasing Badger for their St. Patrick's Day update. This is basically just a headcanon between me and Dawn, where Baldy is John's best friend. Nothing too special, just a funny headcanon. Zorro and Chopper are based off of One Piece characters. This is actually true because Granola Zorro is actually a play on Ronor Zorro from One Piece. Now, I had to change up a bit of detail on Zorro because if I kept it as accurate to the Ronor Zorro character, Toei would probably get an itch in their copyright trigger finger. So I had to do a little bit of a improvise, adapt, overcome situation. Also, when designing Chopper, Dawn told me not to use a red cross, so I took note from the modern Chopper and used a pink X. Updated fans. Now, I have decided to switch over from the old art style of fans to the new art style to fit in more with the Garfield aesthetic. That's all. Whoa, stop. This feels wrong. I think we need something better than that. There we go. Much better. Garfield staged ruining the New Year's so Blobfield could become the Times Square Ball. This is basically a theory that's actually true. It has been confirmed to be true, and this is basically the supporting evidence. Garfield being Garfield again. Yaroslav TV. I've already covered him in a video which has yet to be released, but in short, Yaroslav TV is hands down the backstabber of the Garfield community. and he basically betrayed some of his friends, snuck GoAnime into Garfielf, and, well, in the end started to blame anyone and everyone but himself. Club Penguin references. Club Penguin was an online multiplayer produced by Horizon Entertainment, or more specifically New Horizon Entertainment. It was bought out by Disney but discontinued in 2017 in favor of Club Penguin Islands. After that was discontinued, and apparently there was going to be an episode of Garfielf and Friends where Garfielf and his friends were to save the penguins from Club Penguin from a melting iceberg. However, due to the fact that Garfielf and Friends received some negative reviews, it was abandoned, but not necessarily scrapped, if you know what I mean. At first, I thought 451 was just some random Easter egg that was thrown out on the ovens. But it turns out that 451 is actually a reference to the book Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. No! Stop! No more of this cliche music bullshit. Let's put on something else! Garfielf is self-aware. In Grand Theft Auto Saga, Garfielf and John talks to the viewers at one point in the video, meaning that they're somewhat self-aware that they are in the series. John is racist. Now this is technically true because in the Pico Day episode, John states that he and Baldy were going to summon Cassandra so that they can take out the super military animal squad. And given the fact that the super military animal squad are animals, more albeit anthropomorphic, and John literally hates the super military animal squad because for what other reason than being animals and presumed furries, it seems very likely that John might have a hatred towards animals in general and is seen as racist by every animal around the world.
Garfielf Pong Game 2. Do not research. You've probably already heard the story of what happened to the Garfielf Pong game in the Spaghetti Code, so you basically know why a sequel to the game is being made. I was being requested to add more and more stuff to the game, and it wasn't possible, so I just had to make another game designed with more features being added easily in mind. However, the project got way too ambitious. It started off as a simple, clean remake of the original game with the ease of adding new features, but then I was going to add lots and lots and lots of characters to the game, each with cutscenes that are fully fledged just like a full episode of the Garfield series, and there was going to be like 10 or so characters. The game was originally supposed to come out on June 26, 2020. Of course, that deadline could not be met because of how ambitious it was. Then, I went for a Christmas 2020 deadline, but once again, I did some calculations. There still just wasn't enough time to get it done. Not to mention the Garfield series itself was still going on full force at the time, so I'd have to work on both that and this game all at the same time and drive myself insane. I already drove myself insane and did some damage to my mental health trying to get it out in time for the June 26, 2020 deadline for the demo version. No work was done to the game beyond the demo version. I basically said, it's not gonna happen. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a disaster, don't research it.
Captain Swittertail is satanic. Now, this one is not actually true, and it has little to no evidence. However, the thing is though, I only did the 666 part because I was inspired by Iron Maiden, but also making fun of Satanism. I'm not actually satanic. Rookie and Infinite for Season 6. Now, while the Garfield series was still up and going, and with Garfield and Friends being probably at its most successful, Rookie and Infinite was planned to be part of Garfield Season 6, or Garfield and Friends Series 2. However, due to the fact that there was a lot of backlash of the newer Garfield and Friends episodes for not being in the same vein as the Garfield series, or even at the least, other Garfield series. It was ultimately cancelled for whatever reason, and, well, we didn't scrap it, at least. We actually plan on adding them both in the Halloween episode of Sweater Town and Friends, at least. Kirby equals Blobfield ripoff. No, not quite. The only similarities that Blobfield had to Kirby is that both Blobfield and Kirby sucks up things. However, Blobfield does not obtain the powers like Kirby, nor does he walk on 2 feet like Kirby does. And he also doesn't have little arms like Kirby does. So, in conclusion, that's a load of bullshit. "666. Now, 666 is actually a reference within the Garfielf and Friends series, albeit it was in the first and last episode. The first episode shows 666 on a keypad, and the last episode shows 666 on the oven when Garfielf was attempting to make La Saga for himself. John Catches Meaty Disease is censored. Now, John Catches Meaty Disease is a Garfielf episode where John catches a Meaty Disease. However, in the original version, he says, "Son of a bitch, because of that goddamn paywall, I'm going to spend the rest of my life as a piano." However, the God in goddamn was removed last minute before the episode was released. And it was sort of sloppily done. The Military Animal Squad is the owner of Don Glitchy's channel. What you're about to hear is leaked audio of a random person's encounter of the Super Wolf Bloods on La Saga Isle. Some of the subject matter might be disturbing to some young viewers. The footage has not been released and is kept private within the Super Military Animal Squad archive. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello? Anyone out there? Jesus Christ, this forest is pretty weird. Yet, not to mention creepy as hell! What was that? Hello? Anyone out there? Wait, why do I hear growling? Oh no. Hold on. No. Please, spare me! Helfinsimia! Helfinsimia!
Dear viewers who have been watching this, if you went through the whole iceberg without skipping it, then congratulations! You finally made it. You finally made it to the 8th and the most special part of the iceberg, the treasure layer. Zabivaka. Now, for those who are unaware of who Zabivaka is, he's the mascot for FIFA World Cup 2018 in Russia. He made an appearance in the Garfielf and Friends series, although he only appeared in the final episode, but there were more episodes planned, maybe probably even featuring Zabivaka himself. However, due to the negative backlash that most people have seen of the Garfielf and Friends series, it was cancelled. It's a pretty damn shame that we never got even more episodes with Zabi. Zakumi and Fuliko were both mascots for 2010 South Africa World Cup and 2014 Brazil World Cup respectively. They were both planned to make an appearance in the Garfield episode. However, due to, again, negative backlash from the community, it was cancelled. This is why sometimes we can never have nice things. Garfield originally planned to become Starfield. Now, yes, this is true, however, again, thanks to the same unforeseen circumstances that I've mentioned throughout the iceberg, It was scrapped last minute. Yeah, I'm actually kinda glad that I left the Garfield community for good.
Foreshadowing. In the ending of Garfielf and Friends Ruin Mother's Day 2021, the camera zooms in to a soccer ball and a pair of sports goggles. This is foreshadowing of Zabivaka appearing in the next episode that comes after this one in the Garfielf series, since the ball and the sports goggles belong to him respectively. Other bits and pieces of foreshadowing that aren't nearly as obvious as this can be found throughout the series as well. Captain Sweatertail is responsible for making half of the assets. You see, when me and Captain Sweatertail collaborated together to make Garfielf and Friends, we each worked on the episodes in a 50-50 split. For example, he would do most of the character sketches and help come up with plot points in the episode scripts, while I would do the video editing, do a few sketches here and there, although Captain Sweatertail's sketches always looked light years better than mine, and I would also do the audio as well. And don't forget, I was responsible for doing the 3D models and overseeing how the entire episode came together in the end. Updated Infinite. Infinite was originally supposed to appear as a character in the Garfield series, and Captain Sweatertail made some assets of him. However, the initial wave of assets looked a little bit off. The ears and the tail were the main problems. The ears were too small and the tail was inaccurate, so I sent Sweatertail some references of the actual official artwork and models of Infinite, and we fixed it right up.
This was created by Captain Sweatertail Rabbit in collaboration with Don Glitchy. Thanks for watching.